A chilling silence has descended upon the world of Formula One, because the news that has just broken has sent shockwaves through the entire paddock. Adrian Newey, the man often hailed as the godfather of F1 design, has made a bombshell admission. Aston Martin is currently 4 months behind their main rivals. 4 months! In the high-stakes era of the 2026 regulations and brand new engines, this is a delay that could spell absolute disaster for Aston Martin. Has Newey's genius finally met its match? Or is this all just part of a master genius trap? A chilling silence has descended upon the Formula One world after the events at the Barcelona shakedown, where the usual roar of engines was replaced by whispers of deep uncertainty. The man everyone has been waiting for, the aerodynamic genius Adrian Newey, has finally unveiled his first true masterpiece since joining Aston Martin, the AMR26. Shrouded in a raw black carbon fiber finish with no sponsors and no colors, the car looked like a predator in the dark. But the mood inside the garage was far from celebratory. Instead of the usual confidence we expect from a Newey-led project, the legend himself dropped a bombshell admissions. Aston Martin is currently 4 months behind their main rivals. In the high-stakes era of the 2026 technical regulations, where every aerodynamic detail is a potential race winner, 4 months is an eternity that could define the next decade of racing. Has Lawrence Stroll's multi-billion-dollar investment hit a catastrophic wall, or is this the ultimate genius trap designed to keep the world guessing? Today, we expose the deep-seated secrets of the AMR26 and why the entire paddock is suddenly looking at Silverstone with both awe and suspicion. In the world of Formula One, timing isn't just everything, it's the only thing, and Aston Martin has missed the mark significantly. While heavyweights like Ferrari and Mercedes were running their 2026 prototypes through wind tunnels as early as January 1, 2025, Aston Martin's brand new CoreWeave wind tunnel facility simply wasn't operational. Newey couldn't get a scale model into the air until mid-April of last year, forcing the engineering team into a dangerously compressed design cycle where the car was coming together at the absolute last minute. The results of this frantic rush were painfully visible at the Barcelona shakedowns, while Mercedes logged a staggering 500 laps of data. The AMR26 sat idle for the first few days, completing a mere 65 laps in total. Newey admitted that, because of this time crunch, they had to lock in fundamentals, like the fuel tank length and suspension layout, without the usual exhaustive refinement process. These are the parts you cannot change during the season, meaning if those core elements are even slightly off, Aston Martin is effectively stuck with a flawed platform for the entire 2026 campaign. But you can never truly count Adrian Newey out, as his history is littered with cars that started late but finished first. The paddock is currently buzzing with rumors that he has found a massive grey zone within the complex 2026 technical regulations. These new rules mandate the use of active aerodynamics, where wings must flip between a Z mode for high downforce in corners and X mode for low drag on straights. Drivers like George Russell have already flagged this system as a stability nightmare, but Newey appears to have gone a step further. He has reportedly found a way to link the mechanical suspension movement directly to the mobile wing profiles. This clever trick allows the car to close the gap to the asphalt far more than any other competitor, effectively recreating the massive ground effect venturi suction that the FIA originally tried to ban by mandating flat floors for this era. If this bomb mode suspension innovation is ruled legal by the FIA technical delegates, the AMR26 could be fundamentally untouchable. However, there is a massive risk involved. If the FIA issues a technical directive to close this loophole before the first race in Melbourne, Aston Martin has no plan B. especially since Newey admits their current simulator correlation is weak and unreliable. Beyond the aerodynamics, there is a looming crisis under the engine cover. This marks the debut year of the historic Aston Martin Honda Works partnership, a dream team on paper that combined the engine that made Max Verstappen a champion with the man who designed his cars. But the transition to the 2026 power units is proving to be a brutal mountain to climb. With the MGU-H removed and the electrical power output from the MGU-K tripled, the cars are generating massive thermal spikes that the team didn't anticipate. Newey's signature design philosophy is tight packaging to minimize drag, but that leaves almost zero room for the massive cooling radiators and heat exchangers these new batteries require. In Barcelona, the AMR26 was seen stopping on track twice, once triggering a red flag under Lance Stroll, leading to frantic whispers of a complete ERS failure. Honda's President Watanabe has even admitted that they are struggling to fit their hardware into the extremely narrow space Newey has demanded. The big question now is whether this car can survive 50 laps in the punishing 40°C heat of Bahrain next week, or if it will suffer a literal meltdown on the world stage. Caught in the eye of this technical hurricane is Fernando Alonso. At 44 years old, the legendary Spaniard remains the most motivated and focused driver on the grid. But even his legendary patience has a breaking point. He has already sacrificed prime years of his career at McLaren, Honda waiting for a reliable package, and he knows he doesn't have another 3 years to wait for Newey to iron out the kinks. While Alonso publicly noted that the car responds well after his 61 laps, he also admitted that other teams are months ahead in their filming days and actual testing programs. In his own blunt words, potential doesn't win trophies, track time does. Alonso knows that if Newey's gamble doesn't pay off immediately, he might be looking at yet another brilliant car that simply cannot finish a race. The official Bahrain tests are now just 7 days away, and for Lawrence Stroll, this will be the ultimate moment of truth. He didn't build a billion-dollar campus and hire the world's greatest designer to be 4 months behind the field. He hired Adrian Newey to win. Was this late start a deliberate, high-stakes move to hide a secret weapon from the FIA until it was too late for them to react? Or has the legendary designer finally met his match in the most complex set of rules in F1 history? One thing is certain. The AMR26 is either going to be a spectacular wild card that changes the sport or a beautiful disaster that costs Aston Martin everything. What do you think? Is Newey hiding a masterpiece, or is the clock finally ticking against him? Let us know in the comments below. And don't forget to subscribe for the most in-depth F1 technical breakdowns on the internet. We'll see you at the Bahrain tests!